Hi, it's Nick Robinson and welcome to my review of a new book from the British Origami Society called Origami Checkerboard Puzzles, and it's written by Mick Guy. For those of you who don't know Mick, he's been from the very start a key member of the British Origami Society. He was their first secretary, and over 50 years later he's just been an absolute stalwart of origami and a particular friend and mentor to me over the years. So I'm delighted to present this to you. Mick is, I have to say, he's obsessed with puzzles, shapes and puzzles, and his aim is not just to produce the shape, but to make sure that shape is properly locked together and without loose flaps hanging around. He has 10 or 12 A4 ring binders full of his designs awaiting publication, and this is a collection, the first collection, and hopefully the first of many. So what do we get? We get a nice booklet with a smooth feel to the cover. This is Mick's logo. It's not in the book itself, but it may be in a future book, but that's the logo he's chosen, which is very attractive. There's an introduction telling you about how to prepare the paper, where to find solutions, more information about checkerboards, contents, nice little picture of a potted plant. So this is the checkerboard family. These are the pieces that you need for the puzzle, and these are other pieces that are part of the family which are not in this book, but you can either work out or maybe it'll be a future book. There's a guide to the various arrows that are used in origami diagrams, which you may not be familiar with. A quick guide to the symbols and crease lines, and it's well worth having a look at these practicing locks. These are ways of folding the paper so that it's trapped at the end and it's nice and contained, and it's a good guide to the sort of techniques you're going to need throughout the book. How to fold a square into 16ths, which you might think is straightforward, but Mick suggests this method, which is probably more accurate than some because it shows how you fold to an edge rather than to an existing crease, which is always more accurate. Here's how to prepare the paper, and you'll need 3 squares of paper which you divide as shown and cut out the various bits, and that gives you the most efficient size of paper for using Mick's instructions. There's some pictures there. So we get various pieces. The first 6 pieces allow you to do these earlier level challenges. Nice glass of wine there. So the idea is if you make this unit and 2 of this unit, this unit and this unit, number 1 and number 2, you can make a 3x3 grid. So if you start with a 3x3 grid and add units 3 and 4, then you can create a 4x4 grid, and so on. Those are the challenges up to level 8. There's some more pictures. So here are the other units, 10, 11, 12, 13, oops, 14, and you can see the instructions are pretty consistent. So once you've made a few units, you'll find they look a little bit complicated, but the techniques that you're using in each one are pretty much the same. So once you understand what's going on, you shouldn't find these too much of a problem. That said, they're not always straightforward. Some of them steps where you get little 3D movements. They need some thinking about, and even I had to think after all these years when I first made one. But with a bit of practice you can work out exactly what's going on, and it shouldn't be beyond you to finish them all. A bit about British Origami Society, of course. If you're not a member already, why not join? That's another book that Mick did many decades ago with Paul Jackson about origami games to play, which you can buy from suppliers. Some lovely photographs of Mick and his family and various friends, and then because it's Amazon you get some empty pages at the back. Presumably you can make your own notes on those, or I don't really know. Anyway, let's have a go at one. So I'm going to start with unit 1, piece 1 I should say, and let me just put this out of the way and put something on the page to keep it open. So we start with the coloured side up, and I've chosen this very nice paper from Colour Tree Limited. The paper is made by John Ginara, and the different ways you can create this is a 9x4 grid, and I thought the most efficient way was to take, let me take another square, take a square, divide it into 3, divide each of those into 3, so that gives me 9 along here, and then I did 4 here. I think it's better than making 12 and chopping some off, so you get maximum size, but lots of different ways, and it's a good opportunity to explore division into thirds, but the book tells you how to do all this. So we're going to start off and fold the bottom left corner to the upper edge, and most of the creases you need are in place after the initial 4x4 grid. You don't need to add very many creases, so it's actually quite a fun thing to do. Accuracy, of course, is important. Accuracy in folding and in your initial pre-creasing. Okay, what do we do now? We're going to fold each of these edges out and fold the bottom edge up and swoosh on either side. We'll do the same here. Fold on the existing crease, flatten, and put in a new crease down here. Now we're going to turn the paper over and we're going to flip these points over so they overlap each other. Then we're going to fold this flap back out, again an existing crease, fold it out to the corner, and do the same on this side. Then we flip it over again, and the next step shows you folding this edge behind, but I find it easier if you make this little crease beforehand on both sides. Whenever you see origami diagrams, they're just one person's way of illustrating a fold, and you can make that fold in several different ways. So I like this method because we can now just fold that flap inside, and that gives us the results we need. Not very accurate creasing there. I've not been doing it for many centuries. Okay, what do we do now? We've got to flip the flaps back, so flip the last one over and flip that one over, and we're going to, what do we do now? We're going to fold this flap down, and at the same time we're going to push this corner in, and it will open out like that. So fold the flap down, push, and you should get this. And these moves seem a bit strange at first, but if you make them 2 or 3 times, then you understand in advance what's happening, and you can make them with a lot less stress. Now we're going to fold this bottom flap down and fold the sides in. Same on this side. So we have this shape. Now we're going to fold the top flaps down, these, and let a lower flap flip up, which gives us this. Now we have to turn the page over. Okay, turn over, and we're going to fold this flap up once and twice. Gives us this shape. Now we're going to make a crease from here to here, so we fold this edge back out and make a crease just through this upper flap. Now this part is fun. It's a couple of steps in the diagrams, but it took me a little while to figure it out. And what we're going to do is lift this up and flatten like so. Actually, before we do that, we're going to fold this flap over here. That just makes a later step a little bit easier. So we're going to lift it up and open out from the back here. Put your fingers inside, open out to this position. Then we're going to fold this flap over like so. Then we can flatten the paper. I'll show you on the other side, of course. Then this flap here, which I pre-creased, we can tuck that underneath, and that helps keep things together, give that a good firm crease. So the first step was to make a little crease along there, then open the paper out from behind and press in here to give you this shape. Then we fold this flap over. Yes, we fold that flap over, and this will then come down flat and then we just fold this loose flap here over the edge, tuck it inside, give it a good flap. It's fun to do when you understand the sequence. It's a bit mind-blowing until you reach that stage, but there you go. It's all plain sailing now. We're going to just reverse this corner inside. Reverse this corner inside. Then we fold the lower corner over both sides. Just going to look, that's not quite neat enough. Let me do that again. I'm doing this a little bit in a hurry for the video, and then finally we're going to fold this flap over, crease it and tuck it into a little pocket which you can find hopefully in there. Yep, there it is. One of my flaps have flipped over inside. Just take your time and don't flatten if you're getting squashed corners. Let me open this out. You can see the problem I'm having. Maybe that flap has gone over, so I'm going to start the fold on that side. And that should make life a little bit easier. There we go. So fold over, open up, look for the little pocket there, and fold the flap into the pocket. Marvellous! So there's the finished unit. It's plain on one side, but that's the shape on the other side, and that's the picture of it, and that's piece one. So when you get to the puzzles, you need a piece 1 and a piece 2 to make a 3x3 grid. Whew! Bit of a dog's dinner I made of that, but I've only done it once before, so I really should practice, but I just wanted to get this out to give you a flavour for it. So when you're stuck at home, as many of you are at the moment, this seems a perfect solution to pass some time and create a kind of a jigsaw puzzle. So there's a puzzle in folding and then a puzzle in making the shapes as well. So that's Origami Checkerboard Puzzles by Mick Guy, and you can buy this from the British Origami Society on their page on colourtrylimited.co.uk.